Hi, Shannon Rowe Jackson here from Caution Artists at Play, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about what I keep in mind when I'm accepting commissions, and I will be showing you my most recent commission. This painting is done from a photograph that was taken by a client. This is going to be of Mount Katahdin in Baxter State Park in Maine. It is the highest mountain in Maine, and it is definitely a beautiful scene. And the person that I am doing it for is a coworker, and it's someone I've worked with for about 10 years now. Wonderful person. She hiked this mountain with her daughter, and so this is from a photograph of her recent trip there. So you're going to see me just working through this, and you'll actually see me experimenting a little bit too. Later on, I actually come through and work with some colored pencil on top of it to create some texture, which I could do with dry brushing as well, but I just wanted to see how they work together because I hadn't done that before, and it actually worked really well. So if you see me with some colored pencils in there, I am doing that here and there in a way that is archival and is not going to chip off, meaning I usually just do the colored pencil over acrylic, not the other way around. But if I do put any acrylic over colored pencil, I am actually doing it purposely because I am creating sort of a mask with the colored pencil by doing that, because the colored pencil resists the acrylic. And so I'm doing that purposely for certain textures. But I just want to put that disclaimer in there. If you see me doing that, you want to do it mindfully because colored pencil is wax-based and acrylics are water-based, and so they will resist the acrylic. The acrylic won't stick the same way. So keep that in mind and just be mindful if you use similar techniques. Okay, now that I have that disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about commission work. So commissions are when somebody pays you to create a specific artwork, whether they ask you to take the photos or they send you a specific photo and they want you to paint from it, or if they just have a certain idea and they want you to do a specific artwork for them. And so this is a wonderful way to expand your horizons as an artist. When I first was starting out selling artwork, I accepted a lot of commissions. I learned a lot of different techniques by using commissions. I learned how to do a lot of different subject matter by accepting commissions. And so it is a great way to grow and expand your business, but also to grow and expand your skills as an artist. And so a lot of artists make their living off of commissions. They can be a great way to do that. Oftentimes, if somebody is interested in your art, like 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to ask you to create something specifically for them. And so it can be a really great way to build your business and to make a living. There are plenty of artists who work and live off of their commissions alone. However, I am not an artist who works solely from commissions. I tend to be a little bit pickier about the commissions that I accept, and there are definitely many ways artists can make a living that don't include commissions, and there are plenty of artists who do that out there. So whether or not you want to do commissions is something you have to decide for yourself. I say try it out and see if you like it, and see if you like that client interaction, and just see what you like to do. So, that being said, I do seldomly do some commissions. It's not often anymore, but like I said, when I was starting out, I did them all the time, and I learned a lot that way. However, because I work a day job and I also have YouTube, which I try to put weekly videos out for, and a whole myriad of other reasons, I don't accept commissions very often anymore. And that is mainly because of time constraints. I really cut down on commissions when I was in school because I really just didn't have as much time to commit to them. And now that I'm out of school, I have other priorities for my art business right now because I'm trying to grow it in a different way. When I become a full-time artist, I probably will accept commissions more often. However, the things that I like to consider when I do accept a commission, the first thing that I look at is this something that fits my style? Is this something that I would paint even if I wasn't being commissioned to paint it? And in this case, this piece is a subject that I would paint. In fact, I have painted it and drawn it before, and I've even done another commission of this same mountain. And so it's something that if I had seen this photograph or if I had taken this photograph myself, I would have wanted to paint it. And so when the person came to me and asked me if I'd be interested in painting it, and I saw the photo, I was like, yes, this would be lovely. I would love to do this painting for you. And the other thing that I like to consider is how special is this to the client? And so this one was definitely a very, very special memory for the client. And so I thought that it would be nice to be part of that and to give her something else to add to that memory. The next thing is time. Actually, this is one of the first things that I consider if I have the time to do this. This client in particular didn't have any time constraints on me. And so it definitely was exciting in the fact that I could take my time with it so that I could make sure I'm putting out my best piece. And really, that's also my main reason for making sure that it is a subject that I'm interested in. If I'm not as interested in the subject, I'm less likely to put out my best work. And so I really want to look at my time constraints and my interest in the project before accepting it. I want to make sure that I have the time to give them the best work and that I have the interest so that it'll keep me motivated to create the art piece, especially when I have so many other things going on. And so, these are things that you'll have to consider in your own work. Also, consider the client and how easy they are to work with. So if you are getting a lot of flack right from the beginning, like if a client is being rude to you right out of the get-go, or if they're giving signs that they really are not going to necessarily be forthcoming, or they're not going to actually pay you what it's worth, or if they're giving you hassle about the price, then you probably don't want to work with that client. And lately, I have really been working with people that I know. I haven't accepted commissions from strangers. There is a lot involved with commission artwork, and people's expectations are different. And so the people that know me and who are coming to me, they've known my work for years. They likely have commissioned me before, and so I already have a good client trust relationship with the people that I have been creating artwork for lately. And that also makes me more motivated to create the piece. And so these are all just things to consider down the line. Also, payment. How are you going to accept payment? How are you going to make sure that you are actually being paid? Is there a contract? These are all things that you have to decide for yourself. Most people take a deposit. I will take a deposit depending on who the client is. And so if by chance I am accepting a commission from somebody I don't know very well, then I will require at least a 40% deposit. And then that's when I'm going to be bringing out the contract. With people who I've worked with often and who I've known for a very long time, I don't necessarily have those formalities. And so it really just depends on who you are. People who are creating, if you plan on making your main business be commission work, then I recommend decide what you want to have for a non-refundable deposit and make sure you have a contract. If that's going to be your main avenue of income through your artwork. But I do think that commissions really are a great way to learn. This one, the next thing that I always look at is this something that I'm going to learn from? That is the other thing that I look at from a situation. How much creative freedom do I have, and how much am I going to learn from this? This was a challenge for me. And commissions tend to be a challenge to me anyways, because I am not just any commission is going to be a challenge because you are not just creating your own, you're going to put your own style into it and you're going to put your own insight into it. But essentially, you're creating from somebody else's idea. And so that can always create a challenge. But technically speaking, this created a challenge for me. I have painted and drawn this mountain before, but it is very detailed. And this is a different angle, just a slightly different angle from what I've painted it from before. And this is larger than the pieces that I have done in recent years of this mountain. I did do one that was larger than this in high school, but obviously my skill level is different and the way I do detail is different than when I was in high school. And so I knew this would be a fun challenge for me. I knew I was going to learn things, and there was some room to experiment, which is why I brought the colored pencils into it, because I wanted to grow and I wanted to experiment. I've been wanting to try colored pencils over acrylic on this panel for a long time. This is the encaustic board that you've seen me working on. And so every time I use this panel, because it's still fairly new to me, I try and experiment with my materials. You know how I am with my materials. I like to try and push the boundaries all the time. And it really did create a really cool texture for that mountain that was probably quicker for me to do with colored pencil, just adding a bit on top. And this is 90% acrylic, if not 95% acrylic. There's just some little embellishments that I added with colored pencil, and it was a lot of fun. And so I knew that there was ways I could challenge myself with this and new things I could learn, and I can bring those techniques to other artwork. So that's something that I really like to consider when I am seeing if I'm willing to accept a commission or not. And all these things are things that I've painted before, like the trees and the grass and this mountain, clouds. These are all things I've been very interested in, but the combination and the lighting and everything else was just very exciting to me with this piece. However, that being said, this piece did take me a little over a month to create because I have a day job and I'm only able to work on weekends. And I also have my YouTube channel, which I was trying to put out videos for. And so this took me longer than it would have had I been a full-time artist, and longer than I necessarily would have liked. And I really feel the pressure when I'm working on a commission piece. Even though I didn't have a time constraint, I put a lot of pressure on myself because I want to, I'm a perfectionist anyways. I know, not very healthy, but I know I am. And when I'm working on a commission piece, it is 10 times worse. And so I definitely was a lot pickier about this. So I knew I'd be spending a lot of time with this painting because I know how I am when I accept commissions. So that is something else I consider ahead of time. Is this a subject that I can spend a month with and still be engaged? Is there enough in this composition that is going to keep me engaged and excited? And this definitely had all of that for me, and that helped me get through it. And I'm so excited with the end result. I'm very pleased with it. It was worth all the time and effort, and it's going to be worth it for my friend who commissioned it to hang on her wall. Like, I'm very excited that I was able to do this piece for her. So all in all, I know this was like a ramble, but if you are considering doing commissions, make sure that these are things that, you're going to be proud to put out there. So make sure it's a subject you're interested in, but something that you can also be engaged in and you know you're going to put your name on. Like, if you are somebody who only likes to do landscapes, don't feel like you have to accept a commission for a portrait just to make money. Do what interests you. I mean, in the beginning, it is good because you're learning and things like that. But at the same time, if you're putting your name on it and somebody's going to be hanging it on their wall and showing other people, you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward, especially when people are paying money for it. So, just take that into consideration. Is this something, like, if the reference photo isn't good, like, don't accept a commission where you feel like you can't improve upon the reference photo, or there's just no amount of paint that's going to help the composition. You know what I mean? Like, some people take really horrible photos and they don't realize it because it's a good memory. This happened to be a wonderful photograph taken by somebody who just happened to be on a hike. It's a wonderful photograph. So I got very lucky there. But if you're getting reference material that you know is like if I paint that, even if I paint it to look exactly like the photo is so bad that it's going to make a bad painting. Don't accept it. See if you can get a different photo from them, or see if you can take your own, or see if you can combine photos. But don't feel like you have to accept a commission that has a crappy reference, because you're just setting yourself up for failure. And if you can't put it in your portfolio and get more commissions out of it, then don't do that to yourself, because it is a lot of work. Doing a commission is a lot of work. You have somebody else on the other end that has expectations that you're trying to live up to. And so there's a lot of pressure involved to begin with. And sometimes certain photos just don't translate well into paint, even if they are a good photo. So just make sure you feel comfortable with it before you accept a commission. And that's how I look at things. Like, am I going to be proud to put my name on this? Is this something I'm interested in? And can I learn from it? Those are the three main criteria. And obviously a wonderful client. As I said, if you don't get along with a client, there's not going to be anything you can do to please them. Look for those red flags in the beginning. And some people only accept critiques up to a certain point in a commission. Some people don't accept any changes or change requests from the client throughout any part of the process. So you have to decide that as well. And make sure you have that put in your contract if you create a contract, which I recommend doing if you're going to be doing consistent commissions. But yes, so all in all, I had a really great time with this painting. It's going to be a little while before I do any more commission work because I have other things to get caught up on. But I did enjoy this commission, and those were the things that were in my mind when my client came to me. Sorry if this was a bit of a ramble, but I hope that it helps you in deciding. And yeah, there we go. I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye.